He said he knows me, but how can he when he doesn't even see me? I don't mean physically, but mentally and spiritually. My mind goes beyond the ordinary mind, always seeking truth, anything worthy it can find. Temptation at every corner, trying to avert my path to a different path. I conquer it, and he doesn't even know about the pain I went through. So I sit quietly, keeping it to myself. He says he knows me, but how can he when he doesn't even speak? I don't mean speak with words, but his body language speaks negatively towards me. And I don't mean speak with words, but his mind speaks different opinions from what I know is right. And I don't mean speak with words, but his eyes prefer to see that chick, because that chick has something that this chick, me, don't have. So to make me working for his attention, I change myself to satisfy him so he can start to speak the way I want him to speak. Well, he's speaking now. He says he knows me, but how can he when he doesn't even know about my story? He always worries about history, but what about her story? Her story is my story, and that's something that the textbooks refuse to teach, and he's left there thinking only about history, while her story is being erased and reprogrammed, so only history is only left to be heard. Hell no! Let me teach you now. First, my mind doesn't impress you? Please. It took years and years for my mind to absorb this knowledge which I was supposed to learn in the first place. Knowledge that you don't take the time to recognize. Knowledge that you don't take the time to appreciate. Knowledge that you can benefit from. Knowledge that will change the world someday. Second, my image doesn't please you? I know I should have known better than to change myself, but now I know better. I may not fit the next top model image, but I do fit in my own body. I don't need to know mainstream's idea of beauty because I know that I am the definition of beauty. Lastly, erasing her story? Don't you dare. What an insult to Gabriella Salom, Sora, and Victoria Manalo. You're taking away what made me strong. Erase them, you erase me. You're also erasing what other women could be. So I step up and tell you to quit with the bullshit. And stop treating me like I'm useless because I'm strong. I am independent. I am powerful. I am a Pelaud.
Young love, where we all have fallen victim to the if you like me, check yes, no, or maybe. You know, the type of love where you'd rather hear each other breathe on the phone because you can't fathom the thought of being apart or alone. Young love, just like the way the sun rises and the way it sets, you recognize the beauty in its simplicity. Young love, something that is so pure and clean, like Kool-Aid on a summer day, is one of the sweetest things. Young love, as youngins, they say you're too young to know what love is, but in all honesty, love is ageless, love is colorless, love is kind. You can't help but follow what the man above has designed. So young love, keep looking at what's further than the skin, because it's certain that you'll find someone who loves you for what's within.
Young love, giggling, holding hands, similar to a first slow dance under given circumstance. True, the parents knew the young love wouldn't last, mostly focused on the beauty, and beauty is skin deep, not as deep as the soul or the secrets it'll keep. Thinking they were soulmates, but it was more like playmates, never even had a first date. Not expected to stay together, but to go their separate ways. But it is the uncertainty in love that makes it so great, so let us create for ourselves a castle, a fortress, not for you or I or you and I, but for us. Yes, us. Young love knows no discrimination, still full of innocence, not affected by the dissonance of society. Let us dance together in harmony. I'll bring the rhythms and you'll bring sweet melody. And in the process of give and take, we can make something beautiful together. I'll bring out the best in you and you'll bring out the best in me.
Young love, smiling for no reason, blushing until their face turns red, past the holding hand stage, arms around each other instead. Late night phone calls, laughing into the dial until morning, too tired to pay attention in school, yes, but not tired enough to stay up talking to you. Way past infatuation, because her heart beats faster, because he fumbles and stutters on his words, yet they're comfortable. Comfortable to the point where they can picnic under the stars, nonstop laughter and cuddling. Staring at each other, the glisten in their eyes, the short breaths leaving them breathless. Though just enough breath for him to say those 3 words first, and enough for her to say them back, I love you, and I love you. Young love.
Where nothing else in the world even matters, falling for every word they say and promises made, where heartbreak and pain ain't even a factor. No such thing as too young to be in love when you're on the inside looking out. So they take that chance to understand what true love is really about. Careless of the differences between them, because they say opposites attract, and they focus on the beauty that's skin deep and ignore the traits that they lack. Starting to see things eye to eye, becoming closer and closer as the time passed by. Agree to disagree, but realize that's just how it goes. Not once slowing down in fear of messing up the flow that started in the beginning, anxious to see where this will go.
Young love. What's wrong with the mainstream society characterizing Asian Americans as the model minority? They say we're just complainers, that it's a privilege to be labeled as hard workers, grinders, successors, and high achievers, that we should take pride in this model minority persona, as if it's a compliment. I say it's more of an insult because the model minority stereotype oversimplifies the struggle of my people, that they should stop looking at the door and see through the peephole. The peephole where stress, sweat, loss, tears resides, witnessing the pressure in my parents' eyes, holding down the roof over my head with graveyard shifts and 9 to 5s. Yet, they call us successors. They don't realize that the cost of success brings so much stress. Making money that can't buy back time that my parents spent during graduations, Christmas, Thanksgivings, birthdays, just to maintain up the poverty line. Tupac said it best, trying to make $1 out of 15 cents. It's hard to be legit and still pay rent. Now they wonder why our youth turn to the street, not because of the slang and banging bullshit, but because the lack from home that they're trying to retreat. Now they try to congratulate and reward my people for our hard work by labeling us the model minority. But truth be told, their intention is to create more racial lines and divisions. Land of the free, more like land of the prisons.
Prisons where we're confined and deprived of our personal freedoms, expected to succeed, yet still playing the victim, a victim of our struggle that no one else can truly understand, since they think we have it so easy, as if success and wisdom is our right-hand man. Believe it or not, to get to the top, we have to work hard too. Success don't just come naturally, so forget about this model minority bullshit, and I'll explain to you the model reality. I'm speaking up now, and I'm speaking my mind. I'm done with holding thoughts in, pretending things are just fine. This model minority myth is far-fetched, full of lies. No one ever seems to mention its downfall, like the stress for success ends in suicide. We're forced to succeed just as everyone dreams. Failure is never an option. Being the so-called model ain't as good as it seems. You want us to embrace this as if it benefits our lives, but when reality sets in, we find ourselves asking why. No one likes to be judged, period, so why judge me by my race? I think it's time to let the truth be told that the model minority myth should be erased and replaced with the knowledge of our reality, of what we really go through it to accomplish our dreams and succeed. So take a walk in my shoes, step into my skin, and experience my struggles and learn where I come from within.
Enough! I refuse to be written off as just another timid Asian girl, as the chick who gets straight A's in class and is good at math and will make something of herself because she has strong family values and doesn't let race stand in the way of her success. Nor am I some sort of acquiescent, subservient bride or delicate little cherry blossom who needs protection from the world or some hypersexualized man-killing dragon lady. I will not love you long time. No, fuck that! I refuse to assimilate to the constructs of this society, to fall into the fire depths of the melting pot in which I must inevitably have my former self melted down and then molded into the so-called better, user-friendly, Americanized me. I am not going to be another negative statistic or stereotype, so don't expect me to be pregnant and married at a young age, or to kill myself at the prime of my youth because of an overwhelming fear of pressure to live up to all of your standards. I will no longer feel hurt or ugly when you refuse to include women who share my phenotype in all of your television shows and beauty magazines, because even if you suggest otherwise, I know where my beauty and value lay. I will not get any type of surgery to make my eyes wider, because it's through these eyes that I've witnessed injustice here in this country. These slanted eyes you want me to open up, and yet they close shut because they have seen too much. The jaded history of my people, the broken promises and the fine print in your Bill of Rights that reads, does not apply to brown skin. And if I open them any wider, I run the risk of letting that all spill out. I will keep my nose the way it is, nice and flat, because it's with this nose that I smell the aroma of my mother's cooking, or the sweat that drips down my father's forehead after a long day of work. And if I trade it in for a pointed one, I will no longer be able to smell such things that have been a part of my life, because my nose will be too busy pointing up at the sky to even notice. Nor do I ever intend to dye my thick black hair any shade lighter. My hair, blackened by troubling thoughts that cloud my mind, colonized by an institution that values individuality, but not my value as an individual, so I'm left in the dark. battling the self-hate that was implanted in me at an early age, and those battles manifest in my hair as tangles and knots, and as I try to comb them out to rid myself of this wretched oppression, the mess only seems to worsen until I am pulling, screaming, crying, threatening to just chop it all off. But in the end, I stay true to my roots, and all those lotions and face washes that promise to bleach my skin belong not in my body but in the trash, because my skin is not meant to be white but brown, kissed a few shades darker by the 8-pointed sun that shines on my motherland's flag. It is there where I've never been, but my ancestors have gained beautiful brown complexion from living, fighting, dying for their land, and to bleach my skin white would be to cut the only tie I have with the soil my ancestors call home. And they say that beauty is skin deep, but my beauty, this skin, hold a history so rich and full of depth that when I bleed the blood of an entire nation. And when I cry, I weep the sorrows of an entire people. You could never get me to change my outward appearance, because my beauty runs much deeper than just the surface. It courses through my veins, it brings oxygen to vital organs, it runs through to the depths of my heart. Because you see, I, brown-skinned, cheeky-eyed sister who stands here in front of you, I may be just another question mark in your memory as you wonder what exotic country I hail from, but I am more than just an ethnic affiliation or geographic location on the world map. I am also the keeper of my past, the hope for the future, and at present I understand that there is still so much that must be done, and in order for me to keep fighting, I must stay strong. Try as you might to knock me over, but I will not falter, because if we have no foundation to hold us down, how are we expected to stand our ground?